everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a tutorial on the makeup look that I'm wearing right now, a very smoky, dark, matte eye look. This is a makeup look using only matte eyeshadows that I think gives this makeup look a little more of a grungy touch rather than a more glamorous touch. And I really like this sort of smoky eye where you blend out your really dark black eyeshadow with warm browns. I think it looks more dimensional, I think it looks a lot more sophisticated, and I really like the finished look. I hope you guys like it too, and let's get started. Because I want the black eyeshadow to be really intense, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prime my eyelids, but in this case I'm not going to prime it with a regular primer. I am going to use a really dark eyeshadow base, and for that I am not going to use any cream eyeshadow. I am just going to use my regular gel eyeliner, which is going to do absolutely the same. It is just going to help me intensify the final look. So I'm going to grab a synthetic brush. This one is the one that came on the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to lay down this black base all over my lid. Don't worry about being too precise, just try not to go over your crease, because on the crease we are going to be blending our eyeshadows, our browns, so we don't want a lot of black there because we want it to be blendable. We really just want to darken up our lid so that when we lay our powder black shadow, it's already pretty intense. So now that we have our black base, I am going to use some brown eyeshadows to blend out the black. And that's what I think makes this look a little bit more special. It's what I think makes it look a lot better, a lot more polished, and a lot more dimensional. So the palette I am going to use for that is the Too Faced Natural Matte. This is a palette full of matte eyeshadows, matte neutral eyeshadows. I have talked about it on favorites videos before because I really love these eyeshadows. They are very creamy, very blendable, and I love the shade selection. So I'm just going to grab a Zoeva 227 Luxe Soft Definer, which is a blending brush, and I'm going to grab Honey Butter by this palette, which is a very light brownish shade, and I'm going to apply it on the crease. I'm going to go up with this shadow a little bit onto the brow bone, not too high up to the brow, but a little bit up to the brow bone. You're just starting the blending process and starting to make our crease look a little bit more warm. Next up, we are going in with darker brown that is even a little bit warmer, and I'm talking about Chocolate Cookie, which is the one right here. And apply it right on the crease. Not going as high up with the shadow as I went with one that we used previously. This one is just going to stay on the crease, just to warm it up. This is a beautiful, beautiful warm brown. So next with another blending blush, but a little bit smaller. This one is the 231 by Zoeva, the Luxe Petite Crease. I am going to grab a darker brown. This one is Sexpresso by the same palette. And I'm just going to apply it right on the crease, even lower than I applied the previous eyeshadow. This is the shade that is going to really make the transition between our really warm, beautiful brown and the dark black that we have yet to apply. So speaking of it, we are finally going to apply our really dark black matte eyeshadow. And I chose matte because I want this to look a little bit more grungy and less glam. You could obviously use a shimmery eyeshadow, but for this specific look, I want it to be completely matte. And I would advise you to find a matte black eyeshadow that is really pigmented, that is really black. Otherwise, you might not get a very even lid color. And I would also advise you to find one that is soft and blendable. The one I'm using comes in the Titanium Smoke eyeshadow palette by Tom Ford. This is the best black eyeshadow I have ever used. It is so soft and pigmented, it is beautiful. You can find a matte eyeshadow in a lot of palettes, you don't need to have this specific one. I'm just using this one because it is just the best one that I've got. With a flat lid brush just like this, I am going to grab that shadow and I'm going to apply it all over my lid, and I'm not going to rub it, I am going to pat it. so that I get the most pigmentation that I can. Just apply our shadow right up to the crease where we applied that dark brown. On the crease I am just going to try and blend it a little bit already. But on the lid I'm just patting it. And I'm going from the inner corner to the very outer corner. Don't leave anything without shadow, or you'll make your eye actually look smaller. Then again, with our 231 blending brush and with our Sexpresso really dark brown eyeshadow, I am going to blend the crease again so that I can blend these browns with the black shadow that we have just put on. If this step takes away some of the intensity of the black, which is normal because you've just been blending it, just grab a little bit more of the black and pat it on again without going so much onto the crease. Now I'm just going to grab Chocolate Cookie again, which was that really beautiful warm brown, and I'm going with a blending brush, going to apply it on the crease again, a bit high up, because I want to see a little bit more of that brown. There is no smoky eye without a smudged out lower lash line, so that is exactly what we are going to do next. I am going to grab the same lid brush that I used just a little bit ago with the same black eyeshadow, and with the tip of the brush I am going to run it on my lower lash line. From the inner corner to the outer corner. Don't be afraid to really bring it down because we want this eye look to be really smudgy, really smoky, and we want our eyes to look big. And anyway, because we don't have our foundation and concealer yet, if we go too low, we can always fix it. We are going to smoke out this black with the same eyeshadows that we used on our lid. So I'm going to go in with Chocolate Cookie, and with a pencil brush, I am going to smudge this lower lash line. Bringing this brown underneath the black. We want to see the brown peeking through underneath. And of course, if we need a little bit of black eyeliner on our waterline, and because I want it to be really intense, I am going to use the very same gel eyeliner that I used in the beginning. I'm going to use Black Track by MAC with a slanted eyeliner brush, and I'm just going to run it on my waterline. If we wanted to further intensify our eyes, we could use some false eyelashes. Because I want this look to look a little bit more grungy and less glamorous, I am not going to do that. I am just going to leave it as is and just apply some mascara. And the one I am using today is of course my very favorite, the Grandiose Extreme Mascara by Lancome. I have talked about it on my favorites video. I still am in love with it. It is very, very, very volumizing, very black. Gives me a lot of length, a lot of volume, holds my curl. It's just a really great, amazing mascara. That is it for the eyes. We are now going to move on to our face. And the foundation I'm using today is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. This is a very heavy-duty, really high coverage foundation. And it also has a very matte finish. So because this is so matte, I am going to use the MAC Strobe Cream, which is going to give me some luminosity peeking through the foundation. I'm going to apply the strobe cream all over my skin. I am not going to apply it just on the high areas of my face. You could apply it right here on the cheeks and just be done with it, but I love the strobe cream because of the luminosity it gives me overall, how it picks up the light, and also because it is very hydrating, and my skin really needs some hydration because I've been a little bit sick for the last couple of days and my skin is a bit dry, so I need all the vitamins that the strobe cream can give me. So now I'm gonna go in with the Double Wear Foundation, and I am using my Zoeva Buffer brush for this. Now the reason why I chose to use this foundation is because it is really going to cover all my imperfections, and that is great, especially when you're using such a heavy eye makeup look. And this would be the makeup look that I would wear for going out at night or something like that, so I would probably want my makeup to look really heavy duty. I'm not going to apply a very heavy layer because I don't want it to look cakey. For concealer, I am going to use my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer and Corrector. The corrector is in the shade peach, and then the concealer is in the shade medium light. I am obviously going to start out by applying my corrector. With this eye look, we definitely don't want to look like we have a lot of dark circles, and I'm using the Urban Decay finger brush to blend it out. On top of that, I am going to apply the Naked Skin concealer. And I'm also going to put it a little bit on this horrible zit. And again, with a finger brush, I am going to blend this concealer out. Try not to blend away the eyeshadow on the inner corner or the lower lash line. If you do, you can always go back and put a little bit more, but pay attention to that. Just going to use a little bit of powder to set everything in place and not really to mattify anything because this foundation is already pretty matte. And I'm just going to use the NARS Translucent Light Reflecting Setting Powder. Just a tiny little bit of it so I can set everything in place, especially my concealer. Don't want a lot of powder, just a little bit. As you can see, with all this black eyeshadow and with all the foundation, I kind of look like I have no features and I kind of look like a ghost. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring some color back to my face and we're going to return the features back to my face. So the first thing I am going to do is I'm going to be applying some sculpting powder and doing some contouring. The one that I'm using is from Kevyn Aucoin and it is the sculpting powder in the shade medium. And I'm going to apply it with my Makeup Forever 132 wavy brush. This is a very soft brush that makes it very easy for me to apply any contour powder. Just applying it on the hollows of our cheeks, right underneath our cheekbone. And I hope you can see what a difference it already made. Try and apply your sculpting powder with a very light hand because we don't want a streak on our face. And also choose a powder that is not shimmery, that is completely matte. That is how you create that shadow underneath your cheekbone. So now to really bring back some color, I'm going to apply some bronzer, and for that I am going to use a shimmery one, and this is the one from Too Faced. It is the Sweethearts bronzer. It looks just like this, and it's a very shimmery one, which means it's going to give me a bronzy glow. And I'm applying it immediately on top of where I applied our contour powder. I am going to apply it just over top of it. Then for blush, I'm going to apply MAC's Margin Blush. This is a very natural shade. It's kind of a bronzy shade as well with a bit of peach, and it also has a bit of shimmer. So even though I have no shimmer on my eyes, I am applying some on my face. Just applying it on the apples of my cheeks, bringing it upward a little bit. Now you don't really need to apply highlighter if you've already applied a shimmery bronzer and a shimmery blush, but I'm going to, and the one I'm going to use is by Becca. It comes on the Afterglow palette and it is the one in the shade Moonstone. It is sold individually and it is a very light pale champagne shade. And I'm just going to apply a very small layer on the tops of my cheekbones. Not going to apply too much because we already have some shimmer from our blush and bronzer. And finally for lipstick, I have chosen to use one from Rimmel today. This one is from their Moisture Renew range in the shade Nude Delight, and it is just this beautiful nude warm shade. I think it goes great with the eyes because of the warm browns that we used. This is a very creamy lipstick, very comfortable on the lips, but it is quite pigmented. I really like this shade and I really like how it goes with the rest of the makeup. So that is it, guys. This is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I think it is a pretty easy look to achieve because you don't have to be doing a lot of graphic eyeliner or anything like that. You do have to blend out your shades a little bit, but if you have the right tools, like the right brushes to do that, and you have smooth blendable eyeshadows, you are going to be just fine. And then you just have to do a little bit of contouring, but you could just skip the contouring and use just the bronzer and the blush. So I think it is a very easy look to achieve, but it's definitely a more intense look that I would wear to go out, for instance. I love smoky eyes. It's one of my favorite makeup looks to do. I think it makes our eyes look so big. I think it makes them look really intense, and I love that. So that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe. It would make me so happy. Don't forget to also follow me on my social media. I will leave all the links in the description box, and of course come back for my next video. Bye!